The first poem I'm going to do is called Ice Cream for Breakfast. I'm not very good at titles. It's about having ice cream for breakfast. Last October, I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. I don't know exactly what led to this point, but I've kind of been depressed for a while. Feeling heartbroken over a boy, Glasgow, feeling unfamiliar, a trap who'd just come back from working abroad, and sadness, well, it sticks to you. Anyway, I woke up and saw the Glasgow sky, typically grey. I'm not ready to start this day, roll over, stretch, bury my head in the sheets, beats trying to take on this mess. No, don't get dressed. No, not today. You're not yourself. Your life's a state. Roll over, glaze on phone, scroll, click, clock, prove I'm not a robot. Watching videos, reading articles, succumbing to the pixels, the neon particles. Oh, beautiful technology. Inject me, seduce me, numb me. Shit. Out of battery. Fuck it. I had no one to talk to anyway. I know. I'm going to try and eat the pain away. So I go to the kitchen. Cupboards empty, cucumber, rice and mayonnaise. I don't really feel like that today. Aha, the freezer. It hums its sweet love song. Open the drawer, oh yeah, dancer. This frozen delight's going to make everything better. I've only gone and found myself a fucking mint Viennetta. Cut it in half, back to bed, laptop on lap, tap, tap, tap. Kardashians make me feel less alone. Kim's glowing like a traffic cone. Kris Jenner's face is stretched like a trampoline, and I'm here lapping up this buttery ice cream. This is the life. I went back for the second half. Unashamed, gobble, gobble, gobble. Eat your heart out of trouble. I sank into my crusty sheets. I'll have to be careful. These blues don't last all week. I'm feeling full. I'm feeling sick. I try to eat my feelings, but they're coming back quick. In this grotesque, self-loathing den I built, I ate so much ice cream, I actually smelt of milk. I made myself sick and had to go back to bed at noon, and I stayed there, cocooned by covers, and the sun rose and fell, and time moved on without being told to. For days, not talking to another soul, wishing there was a body beside me. Not just an empty bowl. Thank you. Hi. This is my first time performing in Manchester, which is really cool. Yeah. Been doing it for 13 years, this little job. I never made it to Manchester, so I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. The next poem I'm going to do is called Questions I Have for Birds. Again, not great at titles. It's a great questions for birds that I have. I lived in this place called Prestwick. Has anyone ever been to Prestwick? Some people. Was it the airport? That's kind of the only reason it's famous, like Prestwick Airport or golf. Yeah? No? Were you there to play golf? Poetry. That doesn't make sense. Does anyone else know why Prestwick Airport is famous? Anyone? Okay, great. I love telling this story. So, it's really fundamental for US government flying through. That's the only reason that it's got kind of any money still going from it, because it's tiny. It's actually the same person that checks you in, that then takes you through security, that then pulls your pint at the bar, who then does your security on the plane. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. But Elvis actually stepped foot in Prestwick Airport. He was flying over after World War II, and the whole village came out to meet him, and they got photos. And years later, Elvis was asked, why did you never tour the UK? Why did you never go to the UK? And he was like, I've been to the UK. It's a dump. So that's where I lived for the last 6 years, in Prestwick. But yeah, I lived right on the runway. I could see the runway, and then I could see the Isle of Arran, and I could see the sea. And I also saw a lot of birds. Not fancy birds, just seagulls like we heard earlier, and crows. But I noticed that they loved to fly when it was windy. They would just never come out of the sky. And I wanted to ask them about that. So this is called Questions I Have for Birds. Where do you go at night? How do you hear without any ears? Does it hurt when you lose a feather? Are you friends with one another? You know the worms that you strangle out of the earth like screaming red newborns? Do you chew them or swallow them whole? I've never seen a glint of a tooth, so I imagine that's how it works. Is it like swallowing a piece of spaghetti? Is it like sucking your tongue to the spine? Could you confirm? Can you feel them squirm in your belly like eels until the acid melts them to mush? I see you on windy days, flying harder and for longer. Is there more joy in that kind of weather? Gusty and unpredictable, does it make you feel invincible? I see how you dip and glide, a moment of clarity, a break from the monotony of a daily bird routine. What does that feel like? If you had time to explain, I'd love to know. Is it like a child slapping their palms down on the ocean top? A pair of lesbians kissing hard on the street? How a violin string feels when it's plucked? Does it make you vibrate? An old man shouting checkmate in a park with a board on a bench? Pardon the pun, but is it like a duck to water? Is it like coming up on the dance floor, the first taste of tea off a mother's pinky? What is the human version of flying when it's windy? Do you get lost in it? Does it feel like your purpose? Birds, tell me what I can do. I want that feeling always on the wind, on the surf, on the nose, on the breeze, the clarity, the coming together. That's what life is for. Maybe. Sorry, I brought it back to myself again. So selfish of me. Now do say, how do you stand on such small feet? Do you have a favourite seed? How do you know what song to sing? Thank you. Thank you. So obviously the military planes coming in and out all the time was a bit of a surprise for me when I moved there. And turns out that the Scottish government actually the Scottish police have no sort of jurisdiction on these planes. It's all Westminster. So a plane can pass through there. If it's a US plane, it can't get searched by any Scottish police, which is kind of weird. And it's been fundamental, and especially because Trump's hotel is just around the corner. And he actually got the military to start staying in the hotel. So obviously it was getting really, really busy because it meant that he was making money privately through the US government. So I imagine that's going to start again. But yeah, I think in Scotland, I don't know if you feel like this in the north, but in Scotland, it's funny saying the north because like we are actually the north, like no offense. I'll fight you for it. Okay. But we have this sort of feeling of innocence because we're like, oh, but we're not as bad as those guys down south. And I think that sometimes gets us off the hook. And in Scotland, we think that we're perfect. And we love to be victims. And we love to blame Westminster for all our issues. But it's happening on our doorstep. And we think that we've got nothing to do with it. But I watch those military planes coming in and out all the fucking time. And that's what this poem's about. It's called Prestwick Airport. I told you I'm not good at titles. People always ask if the noise bothers me. But I have become accustomed to rattling windows, blinking lights, and a distant taste of diesel. Outside my house, white-haired men in body warmers stand on stepladders watching planes with binoculars. I survey them from my window while I have my morning cup of tea. I am a hawk for bald spots on these faceless men. Their phallic camera lenses twist in and out like snipers ready to shoot. I like to pretend that they are paparazzi, desperate to catch me candid with a lover for hello or heat. I am used to budget airlines shuttling holidaymakers to Malaga, Faros, Alicante. I imagine them clutching matching boarding passes, giddy after 8 a.m. pints. The other planes come at night. They swoop in, grey and big-bellied, bullets clink in the back like glass bottles in a delivery truck. They land to refuel, for soldiers to stretch their legs, call home, tell their families they've stopped off in the unknown. I watch a documentary about Aleppo. A family flees. They are the last in the city to leave. Their sky is loaded with metal. I sigh, switching off the TV. The rumble drifts in and out, but I sleep soundly, like it is all so far away. Like the birds have picked out my eyes like it has nothing to do with me. And on that note, free Palestine. Nice. I suppose I should do the Dear John Berger poem, should I? I'm feeling very underprepared. All those slam poets really are doing really well at performing. I feel a little underprepared. So I'm just going to make them look really good by forgetting my words. Don't worry, you can say thanks later. Winning the Forward Prize was highlight of my career. I never thought I would be able to do something like that. If I can do it, being dyslexic, and you guys can all do it as well. And I think it's really great we have this new category. So please apply, actually. The round's open at the moment now. So if you have a video of yourself performing poetry, do send it in, because it was a great experience for me. Dear John Berger is about loneliness. John Berger was a guy who... Oh, God, he's so boring. I'm the most interesting thing about this poem. No, I'm just kidding. He's vital because he wrote this book about ways of seeing, and it was all about how women have this sense of like they're always being watched, like no matter what, because of the way that men have always kind of been the ones making the art, and the way that we look at women is the way that men want us to be seen. Historically, and that's kind of carried on. And he says this amazing thing that's not in the poem. It's like, when a man throws down a plate, he is angry, but when a woman throws down a plate, she wants to look angry. And that made me really curious, because I love being watched. And I was like, what's that about? So I wrote this poem. It's called Dear John Berger. I'm going to try and do it without my book, but I'm just going to have it here, just in case. Dear John Berger, my name is Leyla, and I would like to invite you to my celebrity, dead or alive, dinner party. I'm a big fan of your work, especially your book/BBC documentary, Ways of Seeing. John, you said, whilst a woman is walking alone, or whilst she is weeping at the death of her father, she can scarcely avoid envisaging herself walking or weeping. John, how did you know I wept over my father's death? How did you know I have walked across many rooms, once IRL and then again in my head as a stuffy critic? John, how did you get so smart? John, you said, a woman is almost always accompanied by her own image of herself. Then why the fuck do I still feel so lonely? I've been going to coffee shop chains. They're the perfect place to pretend to be a real person. I go through the motions, order a chai latte, chip and pin, pat the collie under the table, tap on my laptop like it means something. John, little girls are always the first to notice me, John. In fact, one is staring at me right now. Her eyes are telescopes searching for a future self. I want to tell her, stop. It's a trap. I want to tell her, don't look at me. I don't know how to be a woman. I want to whisper to her, the hairier I am, the sexier I feel. But I don't. I just stare back. It's good practice. When I was small, my dad would make me do little tricks for his workmates in the pub. I learned that eyes were valuable, that oily hands would clap if I twirled fast enough. John, I could make grown men light up like puggy machines. I don't remember the Shania Twain incident at the primary school Stars in Your Eyes talent show, but I know I was on brand. I know I wore a leotard and gyrated on a chair and told everyone the next day that I had caught the fame bug. The next day, the teacher announced that I was a show-off. Is there anything worse than somebody calling you a show-off? It makes me want to crawl into my own stomach and die there. Maybe that's what I should tell the little girls. Being a good woman means showing off, but never so much that someone might notice. John, I hate to admit it, but I love being seen. It comforts me to know that I am in the backgrounds of lots of strangers' photographs. I like fucking musicians, then pretending their songs are about me. I am only helpful to other writers so I can get into the acknowledgement sections of their books. I lost a diary once, and a sidekick told me a small man with a small name took it. I don't remember what was in the diary, but I know it wasn't meant for the small man with the small name, and now he knows me intimately in a way that nobody else does. It used to keep me up at night, this thought, but now it is chamomile. John, if a woman comes alone, does a tree fall in a forest? John, the house is so empty. I can hear the glass in the windows breathe. John, if a man broke in and held a hammer to my head, I might kiss him. John, what do you use to make your hair so soft? I wish I could touch it. John, please come over. I know if our legs touch under the table, I bet I will ripple. John, I wonder how he remembers me. I wonder if he remembers the way his eyes would open up like rocket ships. John, maybe you could paint me naked, no nude. Maybe we could send it to him. Maybe he would hang it on his walls. Let my acrylic eyes meet his distant ones. John, embalm me, paint me like one of your French girls. Paint me holding a mirror. Maybe he'll call it vanity. Let him. We'll call it a woman's corner. John, please come over. I'd like to scoop your eyes out with a fork. I'd like to keep them by my bed in a small red velvet box. I'd like to take them out from time to time. Watch you, watch me glaze over my body, make me a sight to be seen again. Maybe this is something we can discuss at dinner. Kind regards, Leyla. P.S. Would you mind stopping off at Iceland and picking up a Viennetta? Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. So I'm a little bit of a slow writer. Does anyone relate to that? Bit of a slow writer. It takes me a really long time. I write really personally. I don't know if you've noticed. So I need to get over the thing that's happened before I can start sharing it. So this is a new poem, which is 2 years old. But I've just started performing it. Are you guys okay if I do a new poem? Okay. Thank you. Thanks. It's scary, but we should do it. The first poem that I did is like 6 years old now. So this is called The Slow Month, and a bit of a trigger warning. It's about my mum in hospital getting cancer treatment. Shout out to NHS nurses, everyone. Give them more money. It's called The Slow Month. My mum is in a bleached, baby blue, temperature-controlled, antibacterial wet white room. The air is purified at 14 pressure watts to kill anything that is not my mother. My mum is the only thing being kept alive and only just. Her white blood cell count is at 0.2, which apparently at this time is good. Plastic bed, fitted with plastic sheets, plastic cup on plastic table, plastic needles wrapped in plastic cases, discarded in plastic bins, lined with plastic bin bags. I am the only visitor allowed, and I wear a plastic apron, plastic gloves, and of course, a plastic mask. She bites into a piece of buttered toast, chews slowly like it is sour, retches, glances at me, her daughter, to see if I have seen. The nurse shaves her head. Better not to wait. She looks so small and monk-like in the plastic bed. And I want to reach out and run my hand over her head, feel the little spikes bend and flick back against my fingers, but we're not allowed to touch. Even time feels man-made and rubbery. Cling film days after days, sucking skin inwards. Nurses flap in, unannounced, chirping about trips to Spain, burst pens, the caramel cake at reception. And we are thankful for the flurry because when they leave, it is just us, the clawing clock. The drive home is the hardest. It's where I catch little snippets of life still going, music drifting from someone's balcony, sizzles from the barbecue, laughter. Children kick a ball against a hot curb. Women grunt in a game of tennis. My ex with his new girlfriend falling deeper in love. My friends are celebrating a 30th, sunbathing topless, drinking champagne, dogs hump legs. Eyes meet eyes, ice melts in mojitos, love is made all over the city, and I sit frozen in the shaded car park. And I call my friend, my dear friend, And she says, this is it. This is one of the worst things that happens. And you're in the thick of it. And it doesn't get much worse. And it's the kindest thing anyone has said to me all month. Mum can't remember what she's fighting for, but she mentions her garden. And I will us both there, faces to the sun, drinking tea with full fat milk out of good, sturdy ceramic mugs. She tells me about what the spoilt neighbours are up to now, how her potatoes are doing, the wild strawberries pushing through the gravel, all the life that's still to come. Thanks. I'll do a happy one now. I'll do a happy one. Do you want one about God and joy, or do you want one about shagging in a graveyard? How did I know you were going to say that? So thank you so much. My name is Leyla Josephine. It is the honour of my life to get to do this. As you know, I love attention, so it's just great for me and my inner child. Thank you for that. I also run a workshop online. I'm trying to start a school. Maybe a cult, but a school, called Throwing Up Both, without naked orgies, hopefully. I don't know. Maybe there could be a subgroup. No, I'm kidding. It's called Throw Enough Mud. It's online on Zooms, and it's about trying to cultivate a sense of play within writing. I think a lot of the time we're told good writing, bad writing, and I just don't agree with that. I think writing is writing, and actually sometimes we can get frozen in the not doing, and it's about finding play again. So I have got workshops that happen on Sundays, and I do promise there's no orgies. It's really fun. Come chat to me if you want to do that. We're going to about to start our summer term. I'm really bad at the inside the poem bit, so just ignore all of the kind of talking about orgies. That's really weird. Anyway, so straight on to this poem. So it's called What We Did in the Car Park of Yeats's Grave. And when I wrote this book, I was reading loads and loads of poetry. I come from a performance background and I hadn't read much. So I just was reading to try and write this book. And I realised that a lot of poets like to mention classic poets in their poems to show that they've read the classic poets. But I wasn't going to do that. Who the fuck has time for that? So I was like, but I have had sex in a classic poet's grave. So I'll do that instead. Not on the grave, in a van next to the grave, just to be clear. I think Yeats would have been into it, actually, because he was horny. I start with a little quote from Yeats. It says, "I am still of opinion that the only two topics to be interesting to a serious and studious mood is sex and the dead." So I think he would really like this one. I've been Leyla Josephine. Thanks again for having me. Cheers. And good luck to all their slammers. Good luck. And remember, I flopped at the Roundhouse and then got asked to judge 10 years later. So, you've got time. In our camper van, hidden from tourists, caked in sunscreen, snapping cameras at lichen-covered gravestones, I meet you where you are. The buried curl their toes, their withered noses press into the ceilings of their wooden boxes. The dead are jealous. Oh, to be alive and wet, naked on a bunch of pillows, to have your thrumming tongue inside me, to have a blue bottle watching us from the sticky olive oil bottle. Oh, to eat your body like white bread, my open legs, an altar you bend to. You are glass, I stain as low, I leak, you absorb what you can. We will never merge completely, but this is pretty close. I have been trusted with something holy here. When we're done, I push you out of me onto a piece of kitchen roll. What do you mean, oh no? Well, you're fucking better than that. To have kitchen roll, right, by the way, is pretty bougie. Never mind using it for your own fucking wetness. Oh, I'm not really good at the in-between bits. I do apologise. When we are done, I push you out of me onto a piece of kitchen roll. It's not very romantic, but it is true. You take it from me, fold it gently like origami, then leave, letting the sweaty summer outside spill in. You take our love to the shimmering, overflowing bin, add it to the fag ends, discarded tickets, licked lolly sticks and banana skins rotting in the sun. And through the van door, I watched two elderly women on a picnic bench, eating egg mayo sandwiches, not saying a word. And maybe it's the post-sex glow, or the heat, or the way one woman lovingly wipes mayonnaise from her friend's chin. But God, I feel lucky. Lucky to be fucking under Bear Ben Bulbin's head. Lucky to be so alive and fucking this close to death. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great night.